busy doing all this. We'll call this meeting of April 23rd to order, time being 4:37. Let the record show Selectman Scanlon is not present, but he is on his way. First up, we'll take the approval of the minutes, April 16th, 2015. Make a motion, we bring the minutes of April 16th minutes to the floor for approval.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
On page 2, under Bottom Road, that should be a state aid road, not 8.
AID?
Yeah. Right, Catherine?
Yep, state aid.
She spoke too fast.
On page 4, can we get some clarification as to what the answers were on, under other? Selectman Constantino asked the chief why custom-made boots were purchased for $567. And then Selectman Jessman commented, since the price was over $500, was an RFP done? There's no... He did answer to us, yeah.
There's only one company that really does that.
Right.
Charges lots of money for boots.
Right.
Well, no, there's more than one.
I was gonna say,
But the chief,
There's only one that does it for over 500.
No, that's not.
the chief's answer was there's only one that does it. That was his answer.
That kind of boot.
Let's make sure that's what his answer was.
Police motorcycle guy.
Would you know,
Yeah, I remember.
listen to the tape again and please add that in his answer? I think it's important.
Yeah, on page 2, Ash Lot needs a
Forgot to shut this off. Down.
ASHUELT, I believe. Correct spelling.
Any other corrections or concerns?
Yep.
Is it SWAT or SOU?
SWAT training,
It depends on,
but it's SOU.
Which was the 2-week training, wasn't that the SOU training?
well, I don't know what Belknap County refers to themselves as a SWAT team or Special Operations Unit.
The one that Chris was doing?
They're doing Belknap County.
It was a school through New Hampshire, New Hampshire Tactical Officers Association. The SOU is just a particular unit. BSOG is Belknap County Special Operations Group. That's what team they would fall under.
So they're an SOG.
Right.
Just wondering if we had the right acronym, that's all.
On page 2, down where it says, the discussion about the snow dump, Sherwood Drive, after some discussion, it was determined to place that sidewalk on the winter maintenance plan. It already is on the winter maintenance plan. It is a low priority
Right,
sidewalk.
it's already on the winter maintenance plan.
On page 3, the chief replied it was for the officers to receive, it's at the top, their basic certification. I believe Chris already had his certification.
He's teaching.
Instructor.
So he's
Teaching.
teaching. Yes,
So-
but this sentence would be incorrect, because it's plural. One needs their certification, one's going as a teacher.
Right, in the next sentence, Chris Paquette goes as an instructor for 2 weeks.
Right.
So it would be, the chief replied it was for the officer, one, to receive his basic certification, which is good for life. And once he is certified, it will be 8 hours per month. He also mentioned, and then you can leave that sentence right there, that Chris, the prosecutor, Chris, goes as an instructor for 2 weeks. Okay? Are there any other corrections or additions, concerns? Make a motion that we accept the minutes as corrected.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Let the record show that John Scanlon is present.
About the minutes.
Yep.
I had planned to be at the spring kickoff meeting at Ernie's on Wednesday, but I won't be in town on Wednesday. Chuck and Kathy will be there.
The spring cleanup.
At Ernie's.
What does it
Well, they're
entail?
just, kind of a grouping. I was at the one we had a few weeks ago downstairs. This is just,
This is on Wednesday, the 29th.
9 in the morning.
I'm not able to go. I have a doctor's appointment in Manchester.
Hey, there's
you
no
able to go,
decisions
Joe?
for us, it's just,
To what? Ernie's?
Yeah. It's a kickoff meeting, but I'm unable to go. I have an appointment.
I don't know yet. Well, I'm trying to clean the house out of South Portland so I can put it on the market, so I'm gonna be doing some traveling on vacation.
Okay.
If I'm available, I can go.
Is it vacation?
I don't think it's,
Next week. Is it?
next week is vacation.
Yeah, isn't it next week?
It's next week, next Wednesday.
But I'm not sure if I'm gonna, because we're trying to set up, meet a Realtor there also. My sister's setting it up. If I'm available, I can go.
All right. Well, if someone's available, they'll show up. How's that?
Okay.
All right.
Do we know if Joyce has contacted White Rock to play Let's Make a Deal?
I've already got it down, Wednesday the 29th, I've already got it down.
Okay.
So I was already planning on going at 9 a.m.?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was planning on going.
Very nice.
I don't know that answer.
Yes.
I'm going to call him tomorrow and ask him if he can come on the 30th.
Okay, good.
White Rock? Okay. Don't book too much for the 30th. Next week's the 30th. All right,
We got to discuss that agreement for the mobile home, correct?
right. Oh, that's the,
Let's Make a Deal on the mobile home.
the mobile, I'm thinking the CBDG. I'm sorry.
Oh,
It was
no.
in a different time set. Yeah, we already agreed on that. Yeah, we got that scheduled. Okay, at this time, I'd like to make a motion to go into non-public as per RSA 91A:3, personnel. Roll call vote?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Okay.
that's weekly.
Time being 5:59, I'd like to make a motion to seal the minutes of the non-public session as they pertain to personnel permanently.
Second. Roll call vote?
Yes,
Yes.
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 All right, at this time, I would like to make a motion to go into non-public per RSA 91A:3, that which discussed in public would adversely affect the reputation of another.
Second.
Roll call vote?
Yes.
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 We are read, and the time being 6:21, I would like to seal the minutes of the non-public session as they may tend to
Adversely affect the reputation.
adversely affect, I was going to think of it to say another word, but adversely affect one person's reputation permanently.
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 First on our list, this came to us this afternoon. The chief cannot get the lease even put through unless we do this credit financing, and we need to make a motion to, Tim filled it out, but first of all, is it okay to put Dan Crean down as the attorney's name?
What is this for?
This is for, no, this is the credit app for the lease for the cruiser.
They want us to give them an attorney's name? That's a first.
Wow. It's
They,
gonna get messy, apparently.
yeah, the insurance company, where it's coming from, all this, what it's being used for, finance. And then it says, print in title of authorized official to sign the contract. I say we let Tim do that.
Sign the contract?
I make a
No,
motion.
it should be a selectman.
Yeah.
You can then.
So you always wanted a station wagon. We can just take the lights off.
An SUV, not a station wagon. An SUV.
This isn't a station wagon.
He said station
I still
wagon.
call it a station wagon.
Oh,
They don't make those.
I was looking at one of those big
So-
Chryslers.
So would you like a motion authorizing you to sign that?
I suppose I don't really want to sign
On
it,
behalf of us.
because it goes to Ford Motor Credit.
Why don't they just bring it in on Thursday night, we'll all sign it? Is it that
It's
time
Thurs-
sensitive? Because if it is, then
It's Thursday.
Make a motion to allow Pat Constantino to
It's
sign this
Tonight's Thursday.
financing proposal on behalf of the Board of Selectmen.
second.
Any discussion?
Let's wait for Peter to come back. He'll be back in just a second,
Okay,
I would imagine.
For Pat buying a new car for the
I got a problem with this.
What? Thank you.
Street address,
Yeah.
billing address if different.
What is it? 257 Main Street, I hope.
Is the billing address. I guess it's okay, they get the street address to the police department. My problem is because they have their own address, so much stuff goes there that we don't see.
Why wouldn't it be here? This is the place
The
of
billing
business.
address is here.
This is a place of
Board
business.
should move to have Selectman Constantino execute the application as well as the lease when we have it. They won't even give us the lease until we execute the application. The application provides instructions that whomever will sign the application will also sign the lease. I've got my cell if you have any questions.
Amend my motion to include lease.
Peter was out of the room for your motion, Catherine. Would you repeat it for his benefit?
Who made the second?
You have to amend your second. Who made the second?
I'll amend it. Second.
All right,
So amended.
so now, the motion was to allow Pat Constantino to sign the credit application for the new cruiser for Ford Credit and the lease agreement, which should come after we sign that. That's the motion.
John amended.
You want to see the, well, you could pass this down. Here's,
I was reading it. I didn't even finish reading it. She took it right away from me.
Still up Pine Street there.
Goddamn dog.
oh,
From
she's,
Moscow. You won the
Yes, I
Moscow
swore.
lottery.
I can retire.
Wow.
It's on my spam.
this is
Please send it to, this is amazing.
testy. She said, God damn.
I did say going
Say what
down.
now?
I'll say it again. I didn't say which God I'm gonna damn. That's amazing. Did you read that thing?
I did, that's why I didn't want to sign it. Hello? I said, let Tim sign it, he's the finance manager.
They want our firstborn.
Yes. I say, let's Tim. I don't want to get involved in it.
I don't see an email from Tim.
Nor do I.
Oh, you don't?
No,
Oh, here, let me, hold on.
special.
At least not that Tim. I get this Tim.
What? Oh, it was just Gail and I.
Okay.
Special ones.
No, you know. Okay, so,
Got it?
no, which one is it?
There it is.
Tim Pearson, it says.
Via Google?
Okay, so that's
I
what we
get it in my
did.
regular emails.
I made a motion and I included the lease. So we made a motion to have you
We're in,
sign the application and the lease.
we're still under discussion.
Yeah.
And it was seconded. So we did it.
I'm okay.
I think a credit application really should be the finance director.
He doesn't have
My
the
personal-
authority.
If
to
we grant him the
interest.
authority, and if we
Now
grant him
you're
authority...
subrogating the governing body's authority to a finance officer.
Yeah, but that's what a finance director
I
does.
do those kind of things all the time.
Right. I mean, if we do it on an individual basis and only do it when it comes for Ford Motor Credit, I'm good with that. Because he'll know exactly what to do and say. I'll be getting emails from Ford Motor Credit, like I did with that cloud or whatever
And
we
then
did
just
for
send it to
Cindy.
him.
You know, that online MasterCard thing? When I signed for that, I got all kinds of emails from them. Excuse me, but
Sign the previous leases.
we didn't, not in my lifetime did we lease a cruiser. In Catherine's lifetime, we
You
leased
mean
a
in the last
cruiser.
90 years, we haven't leased a cruiser?
In Catherine's lifetime, she has.
Release two.
Is it just
Three.
2 or 3?
Three.
I remember that.
And Catherine signed.
We're supposed to buy
I
one.
was
too.
chair.
I know, but you signed.
You're the one?
You want me to sign? I'll sign. I don't care.
Make a motion, we have Catherine sign.
There's a motion on the floor.
All right.
I'll
all those in
rescind my
favor,
motion.
Say no. Oh, yes, thank you.
What?
I rescinded my motion.
I make a motion that Catherine, that we
Based on what?
allow Catherine Dawson to execute the application as well as the lease on the cruiser lease credit application. The credit application and the lease. So Catherine Dawson, Vice Chairman, gets to do it. Come on.
Okay, I'll second it for the purposes of discussion. Why would you throw this off?
I think it should be I think it really should be a finance director that signs it.
You should have made that motion then. But
I
no,
don't think that the Board of Selectmen
said
should
no.
subrogate their authority off to another individual. We are the governing body. It is
We
our
do it all the time.
responsibility for the prudential affairs of the time. We don't do
we
it all
do
the
it all the
time.
time. We do, somebody hired a town employee, didn't come here first or anything, just a formality to sign the thing. We've obviously
What are you talking
subrogated, I just signed a PAR for a new person to work in the parks.
That's
I
because
never
the
talk
board,
about this.
the RSAs, the state of New Hampshire, allow the selectmen to
Subrogate their
give
authority?
that authority.
Yeah, and that's what we're doing
It
here.
doesn't allow us to subrogate our authority as the prudential affairs of the town. Where is that written?
Hiring employees is not a prudential affair of the town.
Specifically, it allows grants the park commissioners that authority if the selectman gives it to them. Show me an RSA where it says the selectmen can subrogate their authority off to other people as well.
Was there a motion?
And I'll agree with you.
It seems as, to me that...
Was it seconded?
We don't make every choice, every decision. Our authority,
Sorry, Joe.
you know, we're responsible. Every decision that happens in this town, we're responsible for. And yet, we don't make every decision.
No, we're not. That isn't true.
Yes, it is.
It is. Are we responsible for sewer? No. The RSA
Under the town of Tilton,
specifically,
we're also not responsible for the fire department.
the
right.
sewer department of the
separate
town
thing.
of Tilton is not a separate
They're a
entity. It is not a district.
It's a separate
It's a
governing
separate
body.
governing body in the town of Tilton.
They have a separate governing body in the town of Tilton, which is us. People
That's
make
correct.
choices all
And the sewer commission.
Okay, you win. You're gonna fight long enough, I'm just gonna give up.
Well, you,
I'm just gonna give up.
Call the question. All those in favor?
I'm right.
Aye.
Yeah, sure you are.
Aye. Opposed?
Me?
Decline? All right. The motion passes. Give it to Catherine. She'll sign.
I'm not afraid.
I'm not
Almost
afraid
as
either. I just
payment
don't want to
here.
sign it.
Station
All right.
wagon.
Okay.
I'll never get to drive.
All right. You okay with that?
Yep.
John, you want to see it before she signs it?
I've been just looking at it.
Okay. All right. Here we are at Selectmen's Reports. Joe Jessamine.
Hey, man, let me get my list. I didn't realize we were gonna actually do this.
I'm moving right along here.
Excellent. All right, okay. The other one, that one. Okay. Old Home Day is June 27th this year, which is a Saturday. It's the last Saturday in June. The booth applications are online in the town website. And anybody, any nonprofit organization that is interested in setting up booth space to support their cause can get in touch with the Old Home Day Committee. And we all meet at the Pines, so not knowing exactly who to send it to, I would have them call the Pines and leave a message. I guess that's the way to go with that. Yard sale.
Oh, the applications of the booth go to Deb Shepherd.
That's where they go, yes. Yes, that's where, but how do you get in touch with Deb Shepherd?
Oh, okay.
That's the
Got
thing.
it.
You can collect them here and call her up, and she'll pick them
Yeah,
up.
she'll pick them
Could
up.
do that too, sure. There you go.
Gail's got an application down the front
Okay.
desk.
Gail Bestick, the Selectman's Administrative Assistant, has the applications here at Town Hall, or will accept the applications. The yard sale. Do you want to proceed with the yard sale?
Yes, everybody's been asking.
Okay. Marge is out of town, and she'll be back next week. Marge is the heart and soul of this, you know. Either that or we have to reform and reorganize the committee, because interest is waning. What was I gonna say? Okay. UST, the underground storage tank, had a 7-cent, we raised the surcharge from 7 cents to 8 cents. I voted no, because I didn't have authorization to vote yes. But it really needed to be 8 cents. The only reason it ended up 7 is when when we had the meeting, the last meeting, I had been authorized to raise it from 3 and 5 to both of them being 7. So in lieu of waiting another 3 months before we started to collect the extra revenue, which we really need in order to close the tank down and pay for it as we go, we voted for 7 cents, but then they brought it back up to the floor, and I said, well, I don't have authorization to go to 8, because even though we discussed it, it never came down that I was going to be able to do this. So that's and it started on April 1st. I went to a Regional Coordinating Council meeting on April 14th. The RCC does the senior bus, disabled bus, and the volunteer drivers program. They do reimbursed rides for the volunteer drivers. They pay by the mile reimbursement. That comes from a 5310 grant from the Department of Transportation, administered by them through the federal government. And they've also applied for the next round of 5310 grant funding, and that's being considered now, but we look real good for that. I was appointed to the Fire Commission Facilities Search Committee. There were like 3 people from both towns, Wayne Crowley, Dennis Allen, myself, Dennis Manning, and I'm really embarrassed that at this very instant I can't recall the other 2 individuals. But those are the individuals that were tasked with going over this stuff. Dennis Manning is representing the fire commissioners, and he is pulling together response times and information like that, giving us the opportunity to take a tour of the Central Street Station. He's trying to set up a time that we can all go and have our questions answered all at one fell swoop, as well as the one in Park Street Station as well. But we don't have a first meeting date yet. I'll keep you informed as that comes up. There's a recycling expo that I've been to the last couple of years. It'll be in June 8th and 9th.
Can we go back to the response times?
Absolutely.
Who was the one on the, worked at Hannaford's?
Oh, brain dead. I see the face. Ben LaBelle.
Ben LaBelle had some type of software that he worked with Hannaford's, and he came up with a whole scenario, different scenarios of response time charts, and they are second and third, the first, second, and third file to the left over there, and the response times are in that. They're general response times as to locations. There's not specific locations to this point, Center Street, Park Street, and its response times to Northfield, Tilton, outskirts.
I'm glad you brought that back up. Thank you very much, firstly. And secondly, how much of that information might be available to the search committee?
I have no problem.
Public information, right?
I have no problem sharing that
more
There's
information.
tons of information.
I have no problem. Do you have a problem sharing that?
Like, to make copies of it, and keep it
Yeah.
over there. but-
Just
long
make a
as we don't
copy of
lose
it.
it.
We don't lose the original, but
Yeah. I wouldn't take any of the originals out
I
of the
mean,
building.
he worked with a gentleman in corporate Hannaford's in Maine that worked on that, and I want to say it was a few weeks, and he came up, and we have maps and everything that are over there.
Sweet. That's excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you ever so much for that. Where was I? The Recycling Expo at in Manchester on June 8th and 9th. I've been the last couple of years. I'd like the Selectmen's approval for going again. See if they've got any new stuff.
I have no problem with that.
Okay,
Anything
Gail,
new
could
that you can bring
mark that
back?
down that I should, I know Joyce has the flyer. If she doesn't, I've got one. She can, matter of fact, I'll give it to you at the end here, because I've got a copy of it right in this stack here. There is a registration fee, yeah. Let me see, the trees on Main Street, somebody was asking me when they were going to be pruned.
Asplund is coming through to do the pruning for the utilities, but the selectmen, I don't know if Joyce has ever gotten estimates for them.
Okay.
But I can tell you that Asplund will be in sometime first part of May, and we still have to get lights out of the trees, which I informed them of. They're supposed to call before they come.
Okay, all right, I was just wondering, so first
I would
part of
say
May.
that some of them will be, the issues with downtown, with them going over, touching the buildings or blocking, some of that issue will be taken care of with Asplund
Yeah,
because of
they're
the,
gonna do the tops,
Right.
so.
Well, yeah, I
some of it, some of
told
the
them they
trees in
sure
this
as heck
end.
weren't gonna walk away and make them look stupid.
Right. Make them look right. But
So,
this end of the Main Street, the trees are much larger, and they absolutely block the businesses, and some of the branches are touching over to the businesses.
Yep.
the bank especially,
Just on this end?
further down mostly.
Well, let's see what Asplund does, but we should set in motion RFPs for pruning them. We should do that. We should have Joyce,
Have we piggybacked with the parks in the past, Catherine?
The Parks in the past has gotten a price for them.
yeah,
But then, I think we talked about it last fall. It was last fall, late summer. It was decided that Joyce would go out and get some bids.
Okay, that should be on the Joyce list too, then.
Want to get the bids after?
yeah, but it's gonna cost us more
Asplund?
money. When is shippers coming
Done.
in? They've already did it?
Yeah.
Son of a gun.
So,
It's just gonna cost us more money for them to come out and do Main Street. I don't understand where the problem was last year, I don't remember it. But maybe I was the problem.
Quite frankly, I don't remember, it was too long
That's not
ago.
on my list, but it could happen.
We should get that going with Joyce, though, get it, some estimates.
want to get the estimates after Asplund comes through?
No, we should start
No,
now.
we start now,
'Cause
because I'm gonna
maybe
tell you
when
right
Asplund's
now,
done, we'll-
most of those tree companies are getting real busy.
Well, my thoughts were is after Asplund comes through, because the trees are underneath the wires, we may not need to get them done.
You'll
Oh,
need
yeah,
pruning.
yeah, we will.
Okay.
The bottom part.
You'll have to have them reshaped after
Flat
that.
like a hedge.
Yeah, you'll have to get them re-pruned after Asplund gets done.
Yeah.
As long as they
They won't touch the branches that are going to the businesses.
only cut vertical.
Near the wires.
Yep.
That's their whole thing.
They don't prune for beauty or
Let her
health.
know that Asplund's going to be pruning them first, so they might have to do some
Joe, did you mention
restorative.
Lucinda Hope is on that committee?
Maybe that was, yeah, I think that's one of the people. I do
She's from
believe.
East Tilton. She lives on
I do
Lancaster Hill
believe.
Road.
I do believe.
Lucy's
It
on
was
it.
it was a diverse group that represents many different,
What committee are we talking about now?
the fire commission.
Oh, that was 3,
But they didn't grab Kevin.
right. That's,
And you know, I brought that up because I thought that would be an absolutely logical choice, being a fire chief. And he was on the search committee for Chief Sitar. But they had it in their mind. I had no input into the makeup of the committee. But that seemed like a natural to me. Let me see
Apparently
here.
they're afraid of him.
No, but I don't think so. I never got that impression in the last round. They valued his input, and they were all about asking him questions. He had a better grasp on what's required and the requirements to be a chief than any of the rest of us did,
Better
really.
grasp on engines and rolling stock, too.
Absolutely.
How did we get talking about trees on Main Street?
Well, that
I
was
brought it up,
two
and
items.
people asked me, and that's one of my
You
issues.
sent him in the wrong direction about Lucy.
He's trying to get through his list.
I
Right.
am, and I've still got a bunch of items on here.
Where's the gavel?
Okay, so, Sarah Bernier, no, Sarah Lakeman, who was the young woman who came from Maine. She no longer works for them, but she works for a different thing with garbage. I know this is no help to you guys. Sarah Lakeman was instrumental in pulling together all the facts and figures for our recycling effort.
Yes, I remember.
And our pay-as-you-throw, and she was such a great resource. Well, she's no longer working for that government agency, but she's working for another, and they're putting together, Tilton is a shining beacon in the recycle world. Our program has been immensely successful, and part of that is they're doing research and an article for like a regional, national publication, and she wants to use our figures in that publication. She contacted Tim, and I do believe Tim has sent out the request. And if he hasn't, I've got the email in here buried somewhere, and I will send it to all of you. So what do you think about, it's a matter of, what was our tonnage before? What is our tonnage now? How much do we charge for the bags?
It's all public information.
I understand that part, but before I said, yeah, I think this is a good idea, I think I bring it to the selectmen before we release town information.
It's public information.
She asked me
That's fine.
specifically, so I'm specifically going to respond
Move
with,
forward, it's
knock your
okay,
lights
Joe.
out. Okay,
Just
all right,
Public information.
good enough.
give it to her.
The Vicky Virgin Food Drive, that's got to be coming up, right?
September.
September.
I thought that was like a
Time
June.
flies.
No,
It's on the
September.
anniversary of losing her.
Yes.
Okay, moving on.
Thank you for thinking of it, because we've
I
really got to
thought that
start
was
thinking
June.
about
I
it.
thought that was June, and we were like way late.
No.
Okay. Priorities in the land use office. We now have a full-time land use assistant. And he's got a bunch of things that he does ordinarily anyway. He was working 32 hours a week. But now he's got an extra 8 hours every week. And I says, okay, what's your priority? What are you going to be working on? I mean, you're catching up, but once you get to a point where you're caught up, what do you work on? His suggestion was to work on updating the tax cards, the land use files and filing system.
That's what he's been doing.
Well, that's, I was going to bring this up 3 weeks ago, but it just haven't worked out that way.
Yeah, they're currently working on all the water districts, getting all the districts on the card tax files.
So there you go. For those of you who are not keyed in and here all the time, that's what he'll be working on next. He has plans for the updating of zoning regulations, land use planning stuff. And my statement to him was that, hey, you need to get with the planning board, and this has all got to be planning board issues. Talk to them. In my role of town hall liaison, I've talked with all of the various employees. Some have concerns, some have ideas. I've been like, I didn't want to come in here and be a vulture sitting up on a branch. I didn't want to make anybody nervous. So the first week I came in, and then I've been coming in, I've been sick this week, but come in regular. How you doing? How's it going? And I'll have a list within a few weeks of things, suggestions for streamlining. Do we have blocks here or there, and how can we make things smoother so that people don't spend time chasing around after things? There are certain things that should be automatically go out what was it, we were having issues with, this one didn't get this email, this one didn't get that email. Well, everybody should be on the distribution list. That takes care of that, you know? Just little things. So just to let you know how that was coming. I noticed that we had flyers on the bridges up here. Pet Expo, Senior Center, breakfast, or whatever it was. And in the past, we have authorized those on a case-by-case basis. Now, perhaps I had missed something before, but I don't recall allowing any, I know we've done the Pet Expo, and I'm pretty sure we've done the Senior Center breakfast, but I don't know as we had authorized those in perpetuity. I also noticed that the Pet Expo had flyers out on at the town hall on the front counter.
We did that in motion, in a selectmen's meeting, they asked permission to do that.
Moons ago.
Maybe I was out that day. That could well
It was
be.
moons ago, might have been before.
Where the Pet Expo banner is, that's not on town, that isn't town property.
Where?
The two poles by
Over there by the
by
railroad tracks?
That's in the state right away.
And you
Oh,
can just
there.
put up signs?
Well, it's not up to us to police them, it's up to the state, if they don't like them.
Okay. All right, well, I just wanted to get that straight in my head. Wow. Let me see
Are
here.
they not on?
Evaluations.
They were.
The middle one wasn't.
Oh,
Evaluations. The evaluations are due for June,
Yep,
and this being the end of April.
we need to rewrite them.
They need to be rewritten, passed out, returned by the department heads, and gone over by us and approved prior to June, at least in theory. We've done it much later in the last years, and I was wondering if we were going to be on schedule this time.
I'm pushing to be on schedule.
Shoot for it, yeah.
Okay, so we'll
Good-
keep
good
that
effort.
in the forefront of our minds, maybe talk about that next week.
I think we should have a workshop and just redo the evaluation.
well, that was on my list to,
Well, then why don't we
It was
discuss
on my
this?
list, too.
Why don't we discuss this further when we get to you, Catherine?
oh, you're there now?
Oh, we could do it now.
I don't
I
care.
mean, I don't care.
Get it done.
Okay.
Just that we all should be looking at it with ideas and then come together. I mean, we could FYI each other and then create a document, then come together and discuss it openly.
We have to decide whether you want a separate document, because you had expressed one document.
No, that was just my suggestion. It wasn't something I wanted when I sent that out. I
That
didn't
was
want
your ideas, right?
No.
This would
That was
exclude-
what has been, I've heard discussed at this
Oh, I
table.
see. Okay.
No,
Would this exclude highway and PD because we've recently updated them?
my personal opinion is highway, their requirements and what we evaluate them on is completely different from PD
Okay.
and town hall.
Yeah.
Same with the PD, it's a different animal. So I really, just me, believe that we need 3 separate, but similar. Because when you get to the, secretarial, typical stuff, courtesy, is everybody courteous? Does everybody arrive on time? That kind of stuff.
That would be
Should
generic.
be kind of generic.
Yeah.
But then you're going to get to specific, very specific things in the PD.
Firearms and,
But the PD evaluation forms were changed, is it last year? The year before?
We gave Joyce a copy of it so that she could...
Was it a couple weeks ago, you said? A couple years ago.
No, I think last year...
Last year it was changed, I believe.
We sent a copy to Joyce so she would have it, and she wanted
Right.
to use it as a...
We tried using, was it your template last year? And it didn't really work, remember? It didn't really work.
Well, okay.
A lot of people didn't like, on the towns one, was it 1 to 10?
But we
Yeah,
took, what
that's
we did, though, we changed what
Some
we...
of them.
What, I believe it was 2 years ago, because we took what the chief had and we took what the town had, and we created one for the chief and one for the captain. We did not create one for the administrative assistant because we didn't have one at the time. So the officers are the officers, and that's their evaluations, we wouldn't change those. But as far as the captain and PD, I believe it's either 1 or 2 years ago, we incorporated them into both. And if you don't remember it, then we did it the year before,
I
John.
remember talking about the forms, but it might have just been talking about,
We incorporated 2 into 1, and then we took Dennis's and we added specific to his job title. But we should take them again and elaborate on them. Look it over.
It was really town halls, if I remember last year, that just
It really
didn't
needs it.
work.
Right.
It just
Town
didn't
hall is, town hall is atrocious right
And
now.
just let me throw out here that something I've been saying the last 4 years, that when we do this, we keep a very critical eye toward performance. And not, well, last year they got this, and oh, they'll be sad if they get that. It's got nothing to do with nothing.
I never put an evaluation to that, Joe. And I've never written an evaluation because, and thinking in my head, they're going to be sad if I write this.
Be careful what you talk about. Some of this is
Yeah.
non-public you're going to
Yeah.
get to. And that discussion was
We're not talking
non-public.
8 specific employees. We're talking about how we evaluate them. I don't think that should be non-public.
Yeah.
In any case, we
We'll
should-
rewrite 'em,
we
we'll
should
get
really
together
make it for real this
Exact-
time.
I have no idea where that's coming from, but let's
Why, you
move on.
really want to know?
No,
All
let's
right,
move on.
We'll do that another time.
Yeah.
Okay, Bittern Lane. Bittern Lane, we haven't even discussed it in 3 weeks, at
We're
least.
waiting for the rest of the trailer to come back.
Which we just barely got.
Okay, so you want to talk about that now, or we're going to talk about that later?
It's on my list too, so if you want to talk about it, we can talk about that.
Let's talk about Bittern Lane. This Ms. Hauser?
Paula.
Paula. I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name
Hauser.
exactly. But she said
lady.
everything in her world is being held up by our traffic study and what are we going to require and stuff. So I would love to get on making requirements one way or the other and allowing her to move forward or not accordingly. So are we going to be, I guess the actual Bittern Lane discussion of what we're going to do is something that's on the regular agenda?
Well, to discuss this, we really have to divulge attorney-client information,
Okay,
okay?
we can't do that.
So,
Even I know that.
I agree with you. I mean, it's unfortunate she wasted, well, I guess she didn't waste it. She spent 2 years talking with the state when she really needed to be talking to us.
Well, that's unfortunate all the way around.
But we do need to move forward. I believe what we should do is make a list of what we expect of them, which is derived from the conversation we had in attorney-client. They may decide they don't want to go forward when they hear it.
So is that a non-public thing because of the attorney parts, probably?
I would say.
Probably.
Okay, well then we can do that later. Body cameras. To the best of my knowledge, we have cases of body cameras, or boxes of body cameras, I'm not sure what came in. And do we have our body camera policy?
We have body camera
Talk about-
policies. They were emailed to us 3 months ago and just 3 weeks ago, and we haven't made a decision on whether or not we're going to approve that policy. Once approved, then the body cameras will come out of the box and onto the bodies.
So when do we
Well,
discuss
do we-
the approval process?
Didn't we miss the part where we have to approve their use? I mean, I guess they were purchased, but we haven't even approved their use.
The use is
No,
part of the policy.
That would be part of it, for sure.
The use is part of policy.
Okay, so we're going to look
we
at,
go with the bids on it. We never got to the first step.
They're
We have
purchased.
Well, we're
body
past the first
cameras
step.
in
We're
boxes.
Past the
them.
first
We didn't
step.
open them, send them back, so we didn't.
We
if-
can't send them back, there's a signed contract.
Okay.
We can't do it.
What are we
Let's
even
go
talking
beyond
about
that.
now?
We're going to move forward from there.
So everybody needs to look at the policy. Accept
Still
it,
right
change
here
it.
on old business.
Okay,
Policy.
okay.
Do you want to talk about it next week? We'll
Yeah,
We'll
let's talk
put out a
about it
block of
next
time.
week and
We'll finalize
put
it
this
next
to
week.
bed one way or the other. I think that would be a good idea.
You don't put it to bed, you put it to vest.
Yuck, yuck, yuck. Actually, it's more like a lapel thing, I think. But I don't know. And the rest of the stuff on my list can wait.
You heard it.
Don't mind.
All right. Peter, you have anything?
Yeah.
I have a couple of things. I have,
I'll do that. I was just gonna give some.
Oh, he think you said PD.
did you say, it's not you,
I thought you said PD too.
Peter!
I said Peter.
It's like, I don't know if it's allergies or cold, but my ears are blocked.
There's a black hole at this end of the room, I tell you.
All right,
Just give him a nudge when it's his
Maybe I have to
turn.
like yell.
okay, I'll make this really quick. A few months ago, we approved the heating tape after we found out there was no heating tape put in up at the senior center, remember? We got the proposal, and it's under the motion of $800, so the gentleman's going to do that in the next 2 weeks. He's ordered it. In front of the senior center, there's paving, and then there's approximately 12 inches of cement, the whole width of the front porch. And right in the center of the steps, there's about a 18 to 24-inch divot, pretty deep, that people seem to be tripping on coming down the stairs. So Dennis took a look at it, and he said he could easily fix that when he does the paving of the roads and just continue the asphalt up to the bottom of the stairs. It's about 12 inches and maybe 6 feet wide. Okay. So he has something left over on a paver, he'll do that. The awning, I was answering the phones today for Joyce, and the awning guy called. He's repairing one of the awnings, and it has to be patched, and in order to patch it, he used the, you can't match that green because it's 15 years old, and you'd have to order a new piece, which is expensive, and it would be bright green, and then you'd notice it, but he's going to match it with it's a very small piece, and he's going to match it with the white part of it. He said only you and he will know, and as soon as we pick it up, he'll forget it, so you won't see it.
Until this is broadcast.
That's all right.
So everybody's
But
going to be looking.
he said they're about 20 years old, and
We could have a contest.
it's,
Find the
you know,
patch.
he can patch it this time, but maybe next time he may not be able to. So the word is that perhaps maybe we should start this year, next year, putting in the budget for awnings, because we've repaired them several times now. In the last few years, Joyce has found somebody up in Guilford that's done it. So that should be on our list. And paving. We have abatements here from the Tilton School. Lauren is coming May 14th. Would the board like to meet with her and get her thoughts on going forward with a 5-year agreement with the Tilton School, as we have done in the past,
What was the
They
previous
are
agreement?
amending...
Was that 5 years?
Yeah, it was 5 years. They're amenable to that as well. Lauren comes March 14th.
Will she have the agreement?
May
to us?
I was
14th,
gonna
I'm sorry.
say In 2016.
It'll be a while. Will she have the agreement to us before she comes?
Yeah, we have, we should, in our email, there should be the agreement, the old agreement from Joyce, let me just check. The old agreement and the abatement.
Yep,
You see it?
spreadsheet for Tilton School.
Does she have the new agreement?
Well, it's the old, well, she won't know, we can ask her to draw up a draft
Yeah.
of what it would be. Okay, I can do that. So May 14th, we'll have her back? Okay, got it. All right, I think that's it for me. I love this little note thing that you taught me here. Look at all of them done.
Isn't it fun?
Oh, one more
Little
thing.
color notes.
The senior center is doing again this year the March for Meals. And this, they're having a pancake breakfast fundraiser, 8 to 9 on March 16th, May 16th. It's $5. They're having a walkathon registration at 10, and then a Family Fun Day fundraiser at, over by Franklin and the Trip Center. But this benefits our Meals on Wheels program for Tilton, Franklin, Northfield, everybody. So last year, we broke up into groups, and Town Hall was one of the groups, and AutoServe employees was a group, and they raised funds on their own. However we did it, it didn't, I think last year was abominable, because we said jeans and $2, and people got very angry it was the costumes. If nobody wore a costume, they had to pay.
That's right.
Oh, man, we do wrong on that one. That was not good.
That was last year?
Uh-huh. That was.
Didn't go over well.
Nope. No, it didn't.
Where's the pancake breakfast?
The pancake breakfast is at, I'll have to get back to you on that. The Masonic Lodge is hosting it. I believe they're going to host it at their place here. They're hosting it for the CAP program
Where is our Masonic Lodge?
across from
D-Voice.
DeRoy's.
So I thought. The
But I have to-
daycare's underneath?
I have to make sure that that's exactly where it is. I'm pretty sure that that's where it is. And they've partnered with the Masonic people, but, so anyway, think of a way that we can engage the town, perhaps maybe coming up with a group. I mean, they have a walkathon and a pledge sheet, but if we wanted to do something different,
What, something to raise money?
yeah, just,
You know, we-
just town hall.
We could go and take somebody and lock
the
them into
PD.
that jail cell in the basement, and they have to raise money for bail. It goes to that.
That would be cruel and unusual.
Watch out who
Want
you
this?
arrest with that.
Have you ever heard of those, doing those?
Oh, yeah.
You know, you take
They
turns
did it
locking
to Cindy
people in
and
there.
Johanna last year.
In the basement one?
No.
Oh.
So, what you're saying, if we pay money, they'll arrest Cindy and put her in there? I'm in. I'm in.
You gotta bail her out.
We'd
Oh,
have to
no,
do
I don't want to bail her
a lot
out. I'll
more
pay
to
money to put her
We'd
in.
have to do a lot more to the decor
Down in the basement?
before we stick Cindy in there.
All right, we'll put a light in.
Did she?
Yeah, Cheryl did that, like over at college. Lots of times, I think.
It's gonna be FYI.
You give her a cell phone and lock her in there? and-
Wait a minute, before you do that, there's one thing we have to announce. Here, wait a minute. There's an FYI here. A note to the Town of Tilton Board of Selectmen, to whom it may concern, we, Jamie Mossy and Saturn Elaine, Alleyne, would like you to approve a walk for addiction awareness that we would like to take place May 31st, 2015 at 11 a.m. We have 20 crossed out and put 90 people committed to the walk. However, that number has risen daily. We have attached a map of Tilton and outlined our walking path, starting and ending at Winnisquam Regional High School. We look forward to hearing from you soon. Thank you sincerely, and they've signed it, Jamie and
When did they want to
Saturn.
have this again?
May,
It's a Sunday.
Sunday?
It's on Facebook, so your numbers will probably grow.
You could have hundreds of people. How do we deal with that, with hundreds of people walking in the street?
the same way we deal with the parade and the
Oh,
others.
When did
now
they
it's a
start? At
parade.
the high school?
Well,
Let's see.
they want to go up,
Area?
they want to start at the Winnisquam School, go up Deer Street, go down Winter Street, go up Cedar Street, go down High Street, School Street, Main Street, back to the high school. Oh, wait a minute. Just the opposite of what I said. Main Street, School Street, High Street, Cedar Street, Winter Street, Deer Street. Yay to the kids that put that together.
I'll go in March for that.
I would too.
I'll be there.
I make a motion, we allow the kids, if the chief makes arrangements for police protection and safety.
I met with them, it was on my list too, so,
Very nice.
yeah, so we're all set.
And the kid-
So I make a motion that we allow a march for addiction awareness on May 16th at, what did it say, 9 o'clock?
Take place on May 31st at 11 a.m.
May 31st at 11 a.m.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Aye. Kudos to the kids.
Is it,
Tell them I'll march.
is it the Memorial Day weekend?
No,
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 it's
the
the
weekend
weekend
after.
after is Memorial Day. It doesn't make any
Memorial Day's
sense.
in June?
no, the weekend before is Memorial.
Oh, yeah, before. That's right. It didn't make any sense.
And I think on
It is. It's before the 31st. No. Yes.
places that they're like.
Goodness, I've seen that.
That's one of the-
Don't.
Someplace in Florida.
Oh, Serenity Place and Clean Motives are the two, one against addiction.
Had another name with it.
Which had it, yeah.
They should just do it here to the addiction places here in New Hampshire.
Really the places in Manchester.
Well, there's one in Dover, too. And there's one in
I have one in Franklin.
Franklin, but that's not a nonprofit. That's
No, it's not
profit.
nonprofit.
Out by Keene, Peterborough, in that area, there's one.
That, want to bring something about that Rotary dinner?
Yeah. May 6,
May 6th? At the Pines?
May 6th at the
Senior meal.
Pines.
With the Mary.
There's a senior meal, all seniors. There's a senior meal at the Pines, put on by the Rotary. It's free. It's for Tilton, Northfield, Samerton residents from 5 to 7 p.m. Music by Bill Parker. And if you don't have a ride, there will be a Rotarian that will come out and get you.
Can we put that on the website?
We asked Tim to put it on the website.
Actually, we should put all those announcements on the website.
Okay, thanks for reminding me. I almost said, go ahead. You got anything?
Why, yes, I do. Thank you for asking. I have a card in my hand. Please don't mention any names. I'm not even going to mention gender. This young person broke property in Riverfront Park, and this is a very nice card they wrote to apologize. They wrote it. There was a bunch of kids. There was a bunch of kids there, but this person wrote the card, hand-delivered it today. So I was very impressed. They're lucky too, because I was about to throw that person in the river.
Is a copy of the card
Set the pump
available
in?
to see?
John's already
John's
made
got
it.
it. Tilton Field lights. The planning board had the Tilton School come before and they want to put in a tennis court, and they were reminded that they're in non-compliance because of the lights on the football field, which really need to get straightened out before they even think about doing anything else on the property. I haven't heard anything about these lights since December. Does anybody know where we are
They didn't
The
really
Tilton
get
School
used.
lights?
for the football field?
Where they're at right now with that is before the next game, which they don't have a game yet because the field is still wet. There's no scheduled games yet. Do you call them mechanic or light technician, is coming down to take another test, according to Peter, and meet with Tanis, the woman that's there.
I know.
And then she's going to invite us, he's going to invite us to be a part of that. Dari has been in communications back and forth with them, but we haven't heard anything for a couple of months because there's been snow and there's nothing that
But they
they've
could
done
still
anything.
turn the lights on.
Well, then
The way
you'd
it
get a
reflects,
false
or-
reading because it would be off the snow.
Okay.
Off of
And they
white.
don't usually use them when there's snow. Well, I'm just saying they should move along because as the ex officio member, I'm not going to approve anything for a field when they're already in non-compliance. So I don't want to hold that up, but
Right.
I just want them to move on. I didn't know who was directly in communication with them.
Dari and myself have been in communications with Peter, so why don't I talk with Dari tomorrow and just put a email out to Peter and ask him,
Let's get it resolved.
let's get it resolved.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Flagpole on the island, I think, were you dealing with that, John?
Yep. Let me,
We're coming into season?
let me get something together for the next meeting for,
I'm making my note now,
Doing that.
Catherine.
Impound yard, chief, where are we with that?
Oh, my God, she's going back forever.
Last time we talked.
I got a concrete estimate.
Yeah,
I think we have a dirt estimate, don't we?
Last time we talked, we were going to see if we had any funds at the end of the year, but we didn't end up doing anything with it. It's on hold.
Okay, last time I brought it up was 12/18. Okay, all right.
can I ask, where's that being located?
In the back of the highway.
It's,
Town garage property.
like, it's not near wetlands or
Nope.
setbacks or anything
No.
like that? Or
Nope.
wellheads or?
No, there's a flat,
But
Be
it's
right
right
over
up
the-
behind,
the garage.
right off the road to go to the brush dump.
Right.
Like if you're coming out the back of the garage, it's over to the right over there? Or
Left.
Left.
towards the white?
You know where the sand and salt bays are?
Yeah.
To the right of that, there's a road going to the,
Yep. up
to
back
the
there.
left of that.
Oh, where the refrigerators usually?
Yes,
Okay.
just past that.
Okay.
Just past that.
Here's where it was.
Anybody know what's going on with numbering Main Street?
With
No.
what, Main Street?
We were going to renumber Main Street because it's always been a mess, and I'm pretty sure that Sandy was kind of involved in that.
Sandy was the leader in that.
So I don't know where that went.
I'll send a note to Sandy and see where she's at, because I was kind of like
Well,
involved on the periphery.
how about if we talk to Joyce? Because Sandy's no longer a selectman, although
If
She
I,
has the information, I think.
wait a minute, if
she
I
must have been passed
remember,
on to
Dar-
the fire district was involved in that.
but if I remember correctly, didn't we ask, there was some conversation with Dari in renumbering Main Street. Dari and Joyce were talking about it in the summer last year about this. So I would talk with Dari and Joyce.
Yep, the last time I brought it up was December 4th.
All right.
And the fire district, I think, was involved. I have some door estimates for the front doors. I had put out 4 requests.
Yep.
3 companies showed up, 2 gave estimates. We can deal with them next week, or deal with them now. I'll give them to you. You make copies for everybody for next week. Yeah. And patrolling Main Street, chief. I have contemplated making a motion requiring that each shift stop, get out of their car, and walk Main Street at least once during their shift. But where are we with that? And how would that fly? How would that,
As long as they don't get tied up with an arrest, I could move it where they're tied up, but they have been doing it, and detectives were down there, playing clothes, doing some stuff there too.
but it really needs to happen on a more daily basis. I mean, we have, if I'm aware of stuff that goes on Main Street, think about the people that actually are merchants on main streets and live on Main Street.
Yeah, no, I do agree. I've been doing it myself. One of our officers is in with a shoplifter right now, but when he clears there, but I'll make sure that they try to get that once a shift. And I met with Rich today, so he's up to like 12 explorers now. And so he's working on a schedule for all of them to be downtown all summer too, on top of us being down there. My goal is to just, visibility.
Okay, well, if you can come up with a plan, I will forego making that motion for tonight,
Making the motion for what?
requiring that each patrol shift, stop,
Well,
walk the beat on Main Street, at least once during the shift.
Explorers will be doing it in the summer, yeah?
To give them a week.
Okay.
And we're supposed to amend the winter maintenance policy, so everybody needs to read that. I found a couple of things, mostly dealing with the snow storage.
Winter maintenance policy is, where is it?
Should be in our
If you go
drives.
into the, I don't know if we're in
Agreements.
this drive, but if you go on the Tilton website,
Yep.
go into ordinances, you'll find the winter maintenance policy. But it could also be in that. And we heard anything about, I know that Krause has gotten some stuff done on Manville Road. How
Yeah.
far is he along? Do we know when he's going to come in and give us a report?
Joyce said something about that the other day, didn't she?
There's something you can do there. Something was withdrawn. I don't know if that's relative to what-
No.
I don't have anything in mind. That's the last thing on my list.
He was out earlier surveying, but I haven't seen him recently. You can see some
We should be getting
stakes
that.
and stuff.
We should
Could
be-
could you call and ask him where he's at with it? And, Joyce is away, so we don't know, and the selectmen would like to know. And then just email us an update. How's that?
Thank you. I'm good.
Yeah, I definitely want to
Sometimes.
get that drainage fixed this year.
John?
It's nice being last because you guys covered most of the bases there. I was not at the Conservation Commission meeting, I was at the Selectmen meeting instead on Monday. However, I've got some notes on that. Let's see, there was an approval for the Winnisquam Resorts condominiums for their dredge and fill. That went through, and they discussed some of the plantings that will be around the conservation area, and the walking trail for the Ernie's. And basically, plantings are going to be to attract birds, butterflies, bees, have a natural habitat, not a landscaped type, seasonal blooms. But they went and they did some work on that. There is a note that no one came in on the proposed project for Bittern Lane. I don't know if they were scheduled to come in for some kind of comment, but, and I'm going to be getting together with Catherine to set up something for cleaning the Mabel.
Timetable, Mabel?
Gonna give Mabel a bath.
Outstanding.
You want to give me,
Just-
you want to come down with me? We'll
I'll go down.
spray her down
I'll
and
help
brush her, and
I've got
Catherine will,
brushes and stuff.
well,
I'll come.
give Mabel a bath.
You have to make sure you do not use a stiff brush.
I've got a nice, soft car brush.
Car brushes work, and somewhere in between that will work. Marble is the bodies of crustaceans, so it's hard, but it's also very tender. Easily scratched.
So we'll do that. I haven't looked at the other statues. Maybe,
I mean, the one with an arm broken.
did the Contras get that? Or was it Ollie North that sold that out?
There's a statue as you go into the first entrance to the high school.
Yeah.
And I don't remember if that, is that,
Is that Europe
we
or
have
Asia?
America, Europa, and Asia.
Right.
Is that Europe over there, or is that Asia? Timetable Mabel, I think, is Asia, isn't it? Whichever one it is. She's in very sad shape.
Just dirty Mabel.
Oh, Timetable Mabel's awful, but the one up there is damaged. Very damaged.
You mean by the corner of
By
the
the
high
high
school?
school, yeah.
I know, there's an arm missing and
Yeah, it probably, although I don't think it's sustained damage in recent years.
you should check trees around it and stuff.
Yeah.
But that would be it. That's it for me, just
This is interesting, I hadn't seen that. You see this, Judy? When you get the chance. An interesting story.
Yep.
Chief?
Good evening.
Yes. No, there's lights, there's motion lights. Something.
I'll go through my report for this week. Calls, I don't know how it happens, but somehow we end up about 391 to 393 a week. It's just funny how it always ends up within one or two of each other, but it did. We had a couple of really good arrests in the last week. One of them was a counterfeit ring that's based out of New York City. So we have a meeting with Secret Service on Monday. This crew's operating multi-state. We had one of these back a few years ago. It's almost identical to that case.
Wow.
So this thing has the potential, we're still scratching the surface to see how many states might be involved, but we got them up at Kohl's, so there was, I think, about 7 suspects all from New York City. So that's going to turn into stand by for more to come. That's going to be a big case. And then detectives did a sting this week on a couple of guys selling meth. They were able to do an undercover deal downtown, get a couple of suspects off the street, and then turn that over and pick up the bigger dealer that was working out of one of our hotels. So that actually worked out really well. One of the suspects had 4 ounces of meth on him, getting ready to sell it. So
that's a lot.
Sucks to be
yeah, it
them.
is, yeah. So we'll probably be indicting them, but it was just a couple of really good arrests back-to-back. One of the cases we had a fair amount of transcription for, I remember we had to hire someone to actually do some of that. That guy pled guilty this week, which was nice. I think you guys might remember that case. Detectives have been going through, so when we got that Cellbrite device, the training for that was really expensive. So I found out right here at Concord PD, we had an instructor who's a friend of mine. He's a master instructor for this thing. So we partnered with the AG's office to actually get free training, which I love. And so they've been going down to Concord, and instead of going away and spending like $1,000 for a week, which is what it was going to be, they're going down like a day here, a day there, and getting all the training from
What was this for the?
for that Cellbrite device there. So they've actually used it on a couple of cases already. and
Subway device?
Cellbrite,
Oh, Cellbrite.
I'm sorry.
Cellbrite.
I'm losing my voice a little. But I saw a couple of reports out of it. It works incredible.
Yay.
And not much with the building this week. The cap's changing some of the lights outside to LED little by little. We're trying to change all of those over. A couple of them are out, so every time one goes out, it gets replaced with LED. Ever since Tim did the rewire there with Cat 5 or Cat 7, unbelievable, we've had no issues. That was the best money we ever spent. I got a knock on something, but no complaints there.
Let's go back one time to the Cellbrite
Yep.
conversation. How much training was involved for that? You said something about
It's a
training.
40-hour, but what they're doing is, with the AG's office, they needed it too. So the guy I didn't realize, he's part of ICAC, which is Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force. One of the detectives at Concord is one of Cellbrite's instructors. It couldn't have worked out better. He's retiring.
Who did we send?
Just the 2 detectives for right now.
Okay, and they're both going to take 40-hour classes?
Well, they go down when the AG's office and this
The total
detective
of
can do
40
it.
hours,
So they
right?
might get like a day here, a day there. But it's a good savings, but they said the training's unbelievable. And this guy's retiring in July, so the timing was perfect to be able to get him to do it. And like I said, they've used it on a couple of things already.
How many training sessions have they attended thus far?
1 or 2.
So you've got like 3 or 4 left to go.
Yeah, they were going to do one this week, actually. It was going to be today, but the detective was tied up and couldn't make it, so they'll probably reschedule it for next week. But it's just good that we're going through it with the AG's office. They needed the training as well, and the cost is perfect.
Well, how much does it cost for us to send these officers?
It was going to be over 1,000 per
How
student.
much does it cost now?
Well, down there, free.
Well, there's no
It's just
cost
a
for the
day's pay.
class, but it's a
Oh,
day's
yeah,
pay.
right, yep, yeah.
So, a couple of grand?
Yeah, I mean,
More?
yeah, they're going down on duty, so, and when they go down there, they're talking about internet crime cases,
Yeah.
so it's,
I
and it's,
just want to be fully aware of how much the training is costing.
yeah,
us, that's
well,
all.
yeah, exactly. Detective Buffington's doing a PT and written for the list that he's putting together now on May 2nd, and so he was tentatively looking to do orals on Friday, May 8th, tentatively. So I wanted to toss that out. So on May 2nd, if you wanted to see the candidates doing their running and push-ups and sit-ups and all that, that's a
So May
Saturday.
8th would be the orals?
Yes.
May 2nd is the physical.
Yep.
What,
You have to check with me. Usually he has them come in around
can you email?
8:30 in the morning.
Please email.
Sorry about that. And,
That's usually during the day, John and Peter, the orals where they actually ask, they have officers from around New Hampshire that ask a set of questions to the officers that are coming in. Joe and I and, oh no, Catherine hasn't been. We've been, but if you have an opportunity on May 8th, let me know, and I'll give up my seat and you go.
Is that a weekday?
It's a day, it's a Monday.
Friday, I think. Yeah, Friday.
If you're on vacation, John, you won't be. All right. Everybody should have, you want to go this time, Catherine? Everybody should have the opportunity
I
to at
think it's
least see the
very-
process.
Very interesting how it comes about, because it's like, I think when I went, Chief Tankard was one of the guys. and,
Anchored.
There were there was sheriff department guys and a state trooper, and they asked them, well, you know, what would you do questions, and why do you want to be an officer questions, and experience questions, and just get a feel for what these people are about, and then they make recommendations. So it's a very interesting process.
Okay, go ahead.
And I think everyone's aware, April 30th, that ribbon cutting at McDonald's. I think you got that.
Did you all get your invitation?
Oh, yeah.
Rotary's doing the fishing derby at Tilton School on May 17th. That's coming up.
What is that?
The fishing derby,
When?
Sunday, May 17th. And that's pretty neat. It's, It's from like 8 to noon, and people bring down the kids, and they stock the pond. Usually, we'll buy so many fish.
And then all the adults fish afterwards.
Yeah. And,
When is it?
May
May
17th.
17th.
What time?
It's a 8 to noon thing.
What's the age?
I want to think it's up to 14.
Sounds about right.
Doesn't that sound right? Yeah.
You let the little kids throw them in first for a while
Is
or
it
something?
still in the Tilton
They
School
start
Pond?
with by age groups. First is the real young ones, and then
You
an
can't
hour
go.
later, they add another group, and,
Right. Yeah, it's,
You're too old, Catherine.
no, you can do it the next day.
Well, no, that afternoon after
Yeah,
they
that's
leave.
true.
I do
Yeah.
not
All the
like
adults are
stocked
down there.
fish.
Goes
What
there
a
with
waste
a
of
net.
time.
I know.
But I
They-
know a little
She takes a kayak.
9-year-old that
Drives
would
They might
catch
like
the-
it.
He was,
the
I
net.
remember the
Oh, yeah.
the
That's
crayfish.
fish for supper.
I mean, one year, the kid that won the trophy was bigger than him. You know, he couldn't hold it. He's like this big. But that's coming up. Tilton School graduation's May the 23rd, so right after that. And we have a law enforcement memorial down in Concord on May 22nd. And they'll do a special recognition there for Officer Arkell. Some other items coming up in May. The New Hampshire Governor's Commission on Alcohol and Drugs is doing kind of a large symposium at Dartmouth called Taking Action to Reduce Opiate-Related Harm. And that's going to be at Hopkins Center at Dartmouth Hitchcock Medical Center, May 7th from 8:30 to 4. And one thing that I'm working with Matt and a couple guys from the PD on is we're trying to bring in a guy named Todd Crandall, and he's pretty famous.
Sure. He's coming to the high school May 8th, I believe.
Yeah, that's what, we're working with Laconia on that. And he did a story called Addict to Iron Man, and he was addicted in the 90s. And he eventually broke the addiction over a long period of time, and then competed in the first Ironman, and he's done several since then. And now he basically donates his time to go around the country and talk to kids. And if you get a chance, go on YouTube and put
Let me
in...
know when he comes over to the high school. I'd
yeah.
like to go over and listen to him.
If you go on YouTube and you put in ESPN, Todd Crandall, some of his stuff will come up. It's amazing. And so that's coming up. And it was great to bring him back here. Basically, we partnered with, I think it's Laconia, Guilford, Meredith, and Tilton to get him out here. So he's going to probably hit like 4 schools in one day. His presentation's about an hour long. And
I'd like to go to that.
we have a press conference tomorrow morning down in Concord, and we're just reminding folks that the July 1st hands-free law is going into... There was a bill to try and repeal it, but the bill failed, so the law goes in July 1. And it's basically, we call it the one-touch law, so you can, press one button to answer it, but everything else is supposed to be Bluetooth past that. So, getting those little Bluetooth devices for your visors for the older cars, and some of the newer cars have it in it, but Department of Safety and the New Hampshire Chiefs just want to remind people, we're going to
You can't
take
have it in your hand, is what you're saying.
they actually don't want it up to your ear. You could, so if he called you, you can press the button to hit answer it. From that point forward, they want you on Bluetooth. And so we're going to hand out, they've asked us to hand out flyers on this to kind of break it down. It talks about suggestions for older vehicles, that sort of thing. But we're going to, we promised the representatives and the senators that we would really do an education campaign with it if this passed. So that's gearing up. I think you've seen on the highway, the state message boards are already messaging people to let them know that it's coming up. And, I think we want to just really let people know in advance and start giving them options. And there'll be more coming, but they're going to do something on that tomorrow morning. And then one of my officers on one of his calls, perform CPR, and I would like to recognize him at a board meeting, so I'd like to get him on the agenda if I could. And so if you want to just
How
let me
soon?
know, if you, within the next couple Thursdays, if it's possible.
Can you tell us about it?
Well,
If you can't, that's
I'd
fine.
I'd like to save it for that night, but,
That's fine.
Okay,
yeah.
May 7th?
And then I just wanted to give people time to, I think I mentioned it, June 8th, they're doing a swearing-in. It's my year as president with the Chiefs, and they do a special dinner with the governor and everything, and typically the incoming president has their board there, and it's a nice dinner at Church Landing. So I wanted to give you guys time to put it on your calendars. It would be like a 7 o'clock dinner at Church Landing in
So
Meredith.
you're the president of the Chiefs of Police?
Yes.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
When is it?
It's June 8th, and I would love it if you could please attend. I wanted to give you
How do
plenty
you
of
get to
notice.
be president of the Chiefs of Police? You weren't at the meeting, were you?
Missed the meeting. That's how I actually ended up president of the Belknap Chiefs, Don, in all seriousness. Is like, I was coming from something here, and I got there late, and as soon as I walked in, the chief emeritus says, "Oh, we just made you president." But
Congratulations.
this one's
Meredith?
Meredith
Church
Church Landing. So it'd probably be, I'm guessing it would probably be arrive for 6, dinner at 7, and the governor's there, the commissioner of public safety, and some of the senators and representatives come, and it's a nice event, and I believe they take care of us, so I think we're all set. If anything changes, Gail, I'll let you know, but I think,
When's that date again, please, Chief?
June 8th.
yeah, you know what I'll do is I'll have the director connect with you on that for the details, for June 8th.
Park Commission night?
But yeah, Joe, I did go through the chairs, the Sergeant of Arms third for a second.
Yeah. So you've got history.
Second Monday?
It's the first Monday.
So the
Second Monday, right?
June 8th?
Second
Yeah,
Monday.
It's the second Monday.
Yeah, it's a Monday night. Is that bad?
No. You just schedule parks.
Yep, second Monday. Yep, we'll just reschedule it.
Thank you.
Oh, it's Parks. I'll just eat yours. I'll eat your dinner.
I think it's
Excuse me, correction, I'll eat your dessert.
that's close. I'll have to give them a meal selection, that sort of thing, chicken or fish. Or,
Surf and turf?
yes.
3 choices, chicken, fish, veg, or something.
But that's it. That's all I have.
Any upcoming training?
Oh, just the Cellbrite thing. There is a crowd control class that I helped organize, a management of crowd control for kind of like captains, lieutenants. It's that 40,000-foot view, to make sure that officers don't violate civil rights, that they understand, what's appropriate, and it's really to minimize, a negative impact from something like what we had with Market Basket, to make sure everything goes smooth. How do you do that for commanders? And
So that would be just the captain and perhaps yourself, or just the captain? Corporal?
Yeah, a corporal could attend, but it's really that higher level.
Hand level?
Yeah, and I actually worked with Homeland Security to put it together, and just after things like the Market Basket, Pumpkin Fest, that sort of stuff, we just want to make sure that, we minimize any negative interaction or conflict if we can, and make sure it's handled professionally. So the instructor is probably one of the best at it that's flying in for this class. So we were able to get a grant paid for, and so there's no cost, per se, tuition costs to attend it. So that's coming up May 18th to the 20th, but in the near future, that's it.
So it's 3 days?
3 days. It's kind of neat. They break them up into groups of 4. So we actually had to cap the class at 16 students, then run another one. But I like it because they break you up into groups of 4, and they give you a problem, and then you round table it, like how to prepare for it. Do you meet with the organizers of the protest march? Do you sit down with them in advance? You know, that sort of thing. It's really good stuff, rather than just knee-jerk reaction and everything going. And so, yeah, I reserved a couple of slots for the first 3 days so that we could get some people into it. Because once this instructor's gone, it'll be a while before it comes back again.
Okay, so a couple of people are going to go, not just the captain.
Yeah, I reserved 2 slots, so
Are you
could be the
going?
captain and a corporal. I'm actually the organizer, so I can be there if I
You'll be
want to.
there?
Yeah. And the academy is offered to host it as a venue, so it's centrally located. But the classes will fill up fast. There's only, like I said, 16 per class, so that's only 32 students for the whole state. So I think it'll go quickly.
So it's three days pay for 2 guys.
Yeah.
Where's it at?
The
1,500
academy.
bucks,
Oh, Concord.
2,000
Yeah.
bucks. So it'll cost the town about $2,000, give or
Yeah, if
take.
you were to if you calculated their wages.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah,
Unless I
$2,000?
take a car.
yeah. Well, I don't,
6 days pay, Catherine. One of them's a captain, I don't know, plus the car. And we're probably buying them lunch.
yeah,
We're
we
probably buying them lunch.
probably reimburse.
Cheaper than dinner.
He's got a point there.
But that's it as far as upcoming training.
So your training budget, what percentage have you spent so far?
Actually, we haven't spent any of the tuition. I mean, my training budget's tuition, so wages, if they go to
You don't count the
training.
wages against the training?
No,
How do you break that out?
if they go on
I want to
duty.
know, what did it cost the town last year to train our officers? You'll say nothing, and I'll say bullshit.
Well, Luke would have to pull out the training per officer and then break it down to their rate. And then, because we, like I said, we try to do everything on duty during the regular day.
I
so-
don't expect him to take all this training off duty. I understand that there's going to be a charge and a cost to the town of Tilton. I'm just curious as to
What
what
it'll be,
it's
yeah.
costing, yeah.
They-
Because if they're not here and they're on duty, somebody has to cover their position.
Right.
Or they were just lacking. If the captain's gone, you're covering his position,
Right.
I would assume. But sometimes you get called away. So his position is vacant partly, and the corporal, if he's gone, then somebody has to cover his shifts, right?
Right, yeah, so we.
But
you
it's
know,
not overtime.
No. And they have to get one class that's outside of the mandatory required training each year, so like a continuing education class. Like, for those 2, that would count as that class. So if detectives go down to Concord with the AG's office and they go through that training, that would count as that class. So we keep track of that, because at the end of the year, we have to tell the academy, all right, everyone went through their minimum required, and then here's what they went through for continuing ed. And each one has to have that. So throughout the year, we're trying to make sure everyone gets that continuing ed class too. For the documents that have to get down the academy.
So there's no further training aside from that on your immediate
Not in
horizon?
the immediate, no.
How's the overtime going and replacing?
Good, we did drop some down this week, but then we had a couple people get sick, and one of them was a midnight shift, so we had to. But when I leave here, I'm working tonight to help out, and then I'm working Saturday. So we're all gonna pitch in, try to keep it down. But right now, I got a couple people sick, so
There's some of that going on.
There's some of that going
That's,
around.
that's understandable. That's part of it. The credit app is all signed, ready to
Okay.
go, but Tim has to send the other documentation along with it, so he'll do that in the morning.
Okay, I sent the audit one. Tim gave me the last approved audit, and then they don't need the certificate of exemption.
Tax exempt,
They don't need that.
and a copy of the board's resolution or meeting minutes showing proof of approach.
That would be the last thing they need, so. And
Well,
then
Gail will be putting those together.
Gail's on that.
She's pretty
Got that
timely.
ready to go?
She is.
So before you give this to the chief tomorrow, because, are you sending this, or is it Tim sending it?
Yeah, I'll just fax it over to them.
Why don't you make a copy of this, and then just email him the minutes, and he can send it right off tomorrow. Okay, but make a copy for our records.
Thank you.
And Selectman Dawson will be signing the lease.
It's already signed. Oh, yeah, the lease too.
Do we have, Chief, before we go, do you have a lot of like surplus you sell, like the bikes and all that stuff that get collected?
Yeah, we usually do it in either June or July, once
June
a
or
year.
July.
So that's going to be coming up too. And I don't have a date for it yet, but that's an annual thing for us, and it really does help.
Yeah, well, I was thinking of space.
I'd like to get that on the website as soon as you come up with a date.
that in there.
Advertise it as much as we can.
FYI file?
Let people know. Yeah.
That right
yeah.
there.
What car are we
Yeah,
taking off the road?
For the boards, oh. It got a new name.
Which one? Yeah.
What?
Got a new name.
Did I have to say what kind he's gonna go to the, replace the 03 6C?
I think it's a 6C.
Is there any value to that we
No,
recover?
I don't think there is any.
Even
I don't think I'd
Arthur
take it as a
will-
gift.
I don't think, Arthur will figure that out.
Arthur will figure it out.
Yep, he,
Does that.
and then he'll either put it to auction or piece it out, whichever is greater.
Strip it and junk it,
Yeah,
if some of the parts, because we had one car where he...
Franken car.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We
we have a couple of those.
It's still-
Franken car.
Franken car,
Franken
that's
car.
pretty good.
All right, still on the agenda, next week is the 30th, and we do have the gentleman coming in from the trailer up there off of Lancaster Hill.
The trailer?
Not the trailer, the mobile home, you know, that girl
White
like
Rock.
to make
White
a-
Rock.
Let's make a deal.
Oh, White Rock. You said Lancaster.
Yeah, all right, I'm sorry.
One of those.
Messed me up.
Somewhere
One
over
of those.
there.
Oh, there is one other thing we should probably announce this week. Next week is townwide cleanup day. 28th, 29th, 30th, and the 1st of May. It's listed on the town website. Golly, and you can't bring chemicals, but they're taking lots of the stuff. It's all listed on the town
That'll be
website.
hazardous waste day.
Yeah. All right, so we still have under old business Bittern Lane, the body cameras, the trash and littering ordinance that we have to revamp, update the winter parking, and the employee evaluations is a high priority. What do you want to tackle?
Bittern.
Yeah, bittern and then evaluations.
So next week is Bittern, and then the next week after that's employee evaluations? And then we'll go with body cameras?
Can we fit body cameras in there somewhere?
If you read
Or
the,
split
if
it in
everybody,
half?
if we read the policy that's in our emails, and then make comments accordingly, we could probably bang that out along with Bittern Lane, but Bittern Lane's going to be a non-public.
Yep. Because of the legal issues.
Right, so, next week we have just the gentleman coming in, right, Gail?
Yes, we did speak earlier about adding body cameras to it.
So if we talk, do a non-public for Bittern Lane, we will talk body cameras, the policy, and in the policy, it's the use usage as well, so.
Now, who's coming in on the trailer from White Rock?
Girlich?
Carl Erlo.
The person who wants to purchase it?
Yes.
Is he coming with their board?
I thought Carl Erlo is the board of director from White Rock.
No, he's the one that wants to buy it.
There's
It
no,
could be both.
He was the board of director. I thought he was.
It could be both.
Well, it could be both, too, yeah, you're right.
well,
Would you double-check that and make sure that if he's not, then come with
it doesn't
the-
make sense for us to just
the
talk to the
board?
buyer, I
Right,
don't
you're right,
think.
it doesn't.
Who's the seller?
White Rock.
Right.
Or
White Rock took possession
it'll
of it?
eventually be us.
It's
Really,
us,
it's
right.
us.
It's us.
But within their parameters,
It was abandoned, I think.
yes. they
Well,
walked
it's
away.
no taxes on it either.
Yes, there is.
The taxes are paid?
No, there's taxes on it. I thought you said there
I
were
said
no
no
taxes.
paid taxes on it.
Oh, I didn't hear the paid. $5,000.
I'd be glad to sell that thing off. I hate being a landlord.
All right, so then, next week I'll ask which one we want to tackle. We'll allow 45 minutes to tackle each one of these, and if within the next month, we should have everything but the housing standard, and the housing standard should take a couple of workshops to do, don't you think?
Well, you can put that towards, I mean, we've got until town
Summertime,
meeting next
right.
year. So we
So we
could,
can work on it in
The
the
other
The
summer.
quicker we
Probably-
start, the better it'll be at the
Yeah,
end.
we
right,
don't
but
want
we have
last
other
minute.
priorities. It's like the winter
Yes.
maintenance policy
Yes.
before we get to winter.
Well, we'll have
And we still have a trash ordinance hanging out there.
the trash and littering ordinance, update winter parking, and employee evaluations should be within the next month completed. Next month excluding next week. So by May 30th, we should have everything all done. That's our goal.
Is the townwide yard sale?
So no
all
more
set?
crises in,
No, I was
Townwide
gonna ask-
what?
I was going to ask Joe about that, the townwide yard sale. Isn't that the recycling?
In years past, the recycling committee, Green Committee now, has organized a townwide yard sale that would have been held this weekend. The week before the townwide cleanup, which we don't go and pick up the stuff, you have to bring it to the transfer station. And this year, Marge has been out of town. We've lost members on the recycling committee. I'm the ex officio, but I'm one guy only, and we can't, the times that Marge and I have met, we can't get a quorum. So we can't make a choice or a decision. Marge is out of town. I'm gonna email her and say, because she wanted to leave this as kind of a legacy. But what form this is gonna take, I don't know. I would love to get it
So
done
it
in
might be
May,
delayed a little bit.
oh,
even June. But I want to do it for sure.
I think so.
Chief, the board met, and can you proceed with that no trespass?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So, sounds like a plan, we can get some of these things that are hanging over us done, hopefully. All right, any more business to come before us in a public meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Oh, with your feet.
Wait, it's only 8 o'clock.
Non-ionic soap.
I was so excited, I forgot the click.
No loss.
Gail.
Oh, it would be like, I think ivory liquid is one.
Yeah, I thought I remembered reading.
Goat's milk?
Be careful.
Goat's milk?
They can't